The DIY Flow Bench tests intake, exhaust, and carburetors, and I'll show you how. This is a DIY kit that flat packs. Everything is included. All you need to do is assemble with some rivets and a few countersinks for some screws. Now the countersinking is really easy. I just use my drill here, and you just want to make sure the screws are flush with the surface or even a little bit below flush. For the riveting, I do have a pneumatic riveter, but if you don't have that, you can get a manual riveter from Harbor Freight or from Amazon, but I highly recommend the pneumatic one. It just makes life so much easier and so much faster. So you're going to put the two short legs on first. The really long legs here are pass-through, so you just feed them through the table. Same thing, get them in position with the little holders there. Okay, now we gotta do the indicator. Now there's two options for this indicator. What you're seeing right here is the non-whiteboard indicator. And you just do the exact same thing you've been doing this whole time, which is to locate with the holes, use the little spring-loaded holders there, and rivet down. And then the same goes for the control panel. Now this is new. The old design did not have a control panel, and it would only flow in one direction, which was vacuum. But this control panel is going to have some valves in it that allow us to switch flow. And that's really important if you want to test positive pressure through the exhaust port. What you just saw me do is put the vacuum fitting onto the adapter. This adapter connects up to 3 vacuums to the flow bench. O-rings are used to seal everything off. Now this is really important. It's an adapter style system. The previous design did not allow that. You had to create a hole that was specific to your cylinder head that you were testing, and that was it, you were stuck with it. But this design now has an adapter. Now hooking up the vacuum system here is really easy. You just put the valves on, and once the valves are in place, you have to run hoses in the correct direction. There's a T-fitting here. The T-fitting allows us to split the vacuum up into 2 different directions, and you switch between the direction, so that way you can either have vacuum or positive pressure testing. And we're going to put our indicator on. Now the indicator is just a stick-on tape measure, and I've got these stick-on zip tie holders, and so the whole assembly here just zip ties in place, easy peasy, and stick down your tape measure and you're good to go. So now let's hook up the hoses. We're going to start with the top here. So this is the vacuum side. We're going to wrap that around the machine here, and as we do so, we're using the zip tie holders to hold the tube in place, keeps it nice and neat and tidy. Bring that up to the first valve here, get it nice and close, leave yourself a little bit of slack, and connect it onto the bottom. Then we're going to add this loop here. This loop goes all the way around and connects up to the T-fitting there. I had to loop it all the way around because if I didn't do that, it would kink and bend the hose and shut it off. Do the exact same thing with the other valve, loop it around the other side and connect it to the T-fitting as you saw. And then that connects up to this side right here. Now this is important because if you want to test positive pressure, we need this side right here to see that positive pressure. So we're going to wrap it all the way around the back side of the machine. Okay, now it's time to hook up the vacuums. There's a real easy trick, which is to just suck the simple green in, which is what you saw me do there. We're going to drop in our cylinder adapter here, and then we're going to put the O-ring in. The hose that we used to pull the simple green in got hooked up to the other valve. Setting our indicator, and then I've got this little clamp right here that pushes on the valve so I can set the valve to various openings. And then there we go. You can see the vacuum pulled the water all the way up, and as I begin to open up the intake valve, the vacuum drops. Now let's see how a runner affects flow. You can see that before and after, the runner helps boost flow. So lower on the scale means more air is flowing through. So now let's switch over to the exhaust. We're going to switch the indicator over, we're going to switch the valves over, and we're going to move my little spring compressor clamp over. Now positive pressure is going to want to push the cylinder head off of the plate there, so I had to clamp it down, or I used some straps just to hold it in place. Switch the hoses on the vacuum so the positive pressure goes through. And then there you go. You can see I'm blowing a lot of positive pressure through the exhaust port, and now you can test that way. Okay, time to test carburetors. Now this is a 4-barrel Holley 4150 carburetor. We're going to switch the valves back over to intake side, and we're going to switch the hoses back over on the vacuums and turn it on. And you can see here the vacuum wasn't pulling the water up high enough, and that's why I had that little magnetic hook there. It pulls the water up higher onto the indicator so we can get a reading. And I was playing around with a bell housing there, and it didn't really seem to do anything. We'll do some more testing on that and see what we can accomplish. Now here, this is for the motorcycle guys out there or the scooter guys tuning small engine carbs. I'm going to test out this cold air intake. This is from a go-kart project. And we can see pretty dramatically how much vacuum is being pulled between no intake and with intake. So it's quite a bit of added resistance to have this cold air intake.